There's one way to sell, one way to do this. My way is the best way and the only way. It's just not true. Hello and welcome to Coach Grid. Today, Kirsten and I are going to be talking sales strategies. This is a sales strategy specifically for your offer. And we want to talk about this today because it is a place where we can go and build an entire system with our clients. We build all the back end. We build all the resources for them. We get them in front of clients and they're with clients. And that is the moment. That is the moment of truth where it's time to ask them for money. It's time to engage with them. Yeah. And man, a lot of different stuff can come up.
A lot hinges on sales.
Yeah, a lot hinges on sales. Everything before that is just planning.
Yeah.
And prep. I don't know if there's been a coach yet that we haven't worked with that hasn't struggled with that.
Yeah.
And I think it's a pretty universal place where as a coach, you fight and you claw for that opportunity to get in front of a potential client. And then when you're there and it's like, oh man, now I actually have to talk to them and sell them on this thing. And they're maybe going to give me money. And then what happens after that? There's so much that can come up.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times we use money to kind of mirror our worth, our internal sense of self and self-worth. And so that can also come up where you don't feel good enough or like you can.
Yeah. In that awareness, as we work through some of those things, I'm going to present kind of my primary sales strategy, and you're going to talk more about yours because they're not the same. And I think that's important to know, as there's a lot of marketing and a lot of advertising out there to say, there's one way to sell, there's one way to do this, and my way is the best way and the only way. It's just not true.
Probably the only true thing is after you say the price, go silent. I think we can all agree on that.
Absolutely.
Nothing good comes out of your mouth if you start talking.
Yeah. And we'll double back on that, but 100%. There's also a lot of marketing out there that is trying to say, we're going to take you out of the sales process. And there's a lot of ways that can happen. There's some that are sustainable, but for most coaches, they're at a place right now where they're part of their own sales process. And if you're trying to get yourself out of the process, especially if you have a high ticket offer, very, very rarely does that succeed, where you're trying to sell somebody through videos and through emails for a $2,500 or a $3,500 offer.
Right. Without bringing in an actual human closer that you're hiring and paying a hefty commission to.
Exactly. So you're either paying them or you're doing it yourself. But either way, there's some tactics and strategies to that. Yeah. So to present mine, I'll talk a little bit about what I do. First of all, we've talked in previous videos about funnels and how we get in front of clients. But assuming that you can create a system where you get in front of a client, you don't pitch them immediately. You don't go on a first date and be like, "Hey, will you marry me?" You want to give a little time there. You want to develop a relationship.
Or even go for the kiss.
Right.
You're not like, "Hey, so good to see you," and just start.
You want to have some awareness around this client and what you're wanting to ask them to do. And if you're asking them to invest 10 to 12 weeks of their time and $4,000 or $5,000 and a lot of emotional energy as well, you want to have a little bit of building to that
When
space.
you say it that way. Like, what? I'm just making you face your core wounds.
Right, yeah.
Don't want to just do that?
Your deepest, darkest beliefs about yourself, and I'm going to charge you money for it. And we met 5 minutes ago.
It's amazing coaches make as much as they do when you first say it that way.
Well, the good ones do, because they have this understanding.
Right.
That if you and I are on a 30 or 45 minute phone call, you already know a little bit about me. You already know a little bit about my system. You've been referred by somebody. You've seen testimonials. And again, at Coach Grid, we help you build all of that. So when they do get in front of you, they're prepped.
Yeah.
They're aware of the fact that there's going to be a financial investment. They've been qualified to that fact. So you get to show up confidently. Some prep work. When you're getting ready for that conversation, spend a minute with yourself and get out of that scarcity mindset. Maybe it's a place that you have a hard time getting out of. And for me, when money's been tightest, it's like, oh man, I'm about to get on this phone call. And if they don't buy, I don't know what I'm going to do about this or this. It's the worst place that you can enter that call from.
I need this.
Yes. When you enter that
trying to trap them.
I need this thing and I'll do whatever it takes, you're already not showing up the way that you know is going to be best for you and for the client.
Yeah.
So if you can work on that mindset and get in that space of, I'm here for them, I have something of value, and if they're not ready for it, that's okay too. Mm-hmm. But what we do is we get on a call, and if you and I are on a call or in person, my goal is to get really curious for the first 30 minutes. And we'll use the example of like a personal trainer. And we're on a call and you're overweight, you're unhealthy, you're tired all the time, and you're done with it. You don't want to be living that way anymore. I'm going to start asking you a lot of questions. Tell me about what it is that you're wanting to experience. Tell me about what you've tried so far and hasn't worked for you. Tell me why you want to lose weight. Tell me why you want to have more energy. And the more questions that you can ask your client, one, they're going to feel like you sincerely care, hopefully because you do. And as you're asking those questions and you're actually listening to their answers and you're saying things like, yeah, that would be really hard. That would be really scary. That would be frustrating to not have been able to overcome that yet. And you're creating some connection here. You're not selling anything. They're not being pitched, because what is everybody hopping on that call ready for? They're ready to be pitched. Mm-hmm. They're ready to be sold something.
Yeah. They're like,
the guard is up, right? I'm not ready for that.
Yeah.
But if they get to talk and they get to talk about what's going on in their life. Now, for me, this is part of the strategy. I am not there to coach them on that call. I'm there to be very curious, and I'm paying attention while we're talking. What is it that they're struggling with? What are their pain points? What are their goals? What is it that they're wanting to experience in life? And the more that I can understand about them, the better prepared I now am to sell them something that is relevant to their system.
Right.
So if they said they wanted to lose weight, if they said they wanted more energy, if they said they wanted more confidence, after that 30 minutes, I thank them for sharing. I ask them if there's anything else that they want to share or talk about. And then I ask, is it okay for me to share a little bit about what it is that I do? Mm-hmm. And of course, at that point in time, they're ready for it. They're willing. And I give maybe a little quick 2-minute resume, just to remind them who I am and why I'm qualified to be doing what I do. Then I go into what it is that I do. And if it's aligned, I don't want to say something again that's untrue. I don't want to try to make what it is that I do fit. But if what I do fits what it is that they said that they want, and what I do will help them solve their problems, I now am very well prepared to say, well, the first thing we do is we focus on getting you more energy and creating a system that's unique to you. Because in your conversation to me, you told me, I'm sick of getting generic things that is just supposed to work for everybody.
Right.
I am really, really well prepared to speak to exactly the things that they've been worried about, the things that they're struggling with.
Yeah.
I know that the reason they want more energy is to be able to play with their kids or their grandkids. And I bring that back in. You're going to have energy to go to Disneyland and to walk through the park with your grandkids and not be exhausted 4 hours into the day. I talk to them about the specific goals that they have. And if their goal is they want to lose 50 pounds in 12 weeks, I say, we'll create a system that will allow you to accomplish that exact goal. And what is the client thinking? They're thinking, one, I was heard. Somebody listened to me. Somebody actually heard what it is that I want to experience. And their system sounds really perfect for what it is that I want to do. Now, I can't stress this enough. Don't sell them something that you don't have. So if they're saying, I want to lose 200 pounds in the next 4 weeks, and you can't do that, don't say that you can. Don't be afraid to say, you know what, I'm probably not the right guy for you, but I can recommend you to this, surgeon that can accomplish that goal, because that's the only way that's happening.
Right.
And still provide them some value.
Yeah. I think that's a really good place to create authority too, though, is to say, hey, that's not going to happen. No matter who you hire, it's not going to happen. And this is why. And again, this is why I'm qualified, because this is what actually is achievable, and being able to paint that picture.
Yeah. And that's beautiful because at that point in time, I can get ahead of most of the time when they're talking to you, they're probably talking to 4 or 5 other people. So I can say, hey, Jimmy down the street, he's going to tell you that he can do it. He can't, but if he says that he can, ask him how, ask him this to kind of prepare them for that, which again, you're showing them that really what you want is to help them more than make money from them.
Yeah.
Then after you explain the program, ask them if they have any questions. If they say no, say, okay, so it's this. The program is X dollars for this amount of weeks. This is what it consists of. And back to your point, at that point, you be quiet.
Yeah.
That silence does the heavy lifting. And what does almost every coach do? They give it about 3 seconds of silence. They feel that fear hit, and they immediately go into, or I have something that's only $20 that'll effectively do the same thing. It's just all online. And they unsell it before they've ever even had a chance to sell it.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly, there are going to be some things that come. Not undoubtedly. I've had clients that are like, that's awesome. I love it. Let's go. And I'm ready to sell them right then and there.
Yeah.
So that's my system. I wanted to kind of give you an opportunity to share how it is that you work with clients as well, because it's equally as powerful, but a very different methodology.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a lot of similarity in it. I still start off sales calls with figuring out where they're at. What do they care about? I really like to focus on the vision of what's possible. And a lot of people actually will be like, well, what's the vision? And they're like, well, I don't know, like I've got more money. And they're like, that's the furthest they've actually gone in their own brain. So that's right there, starting to teach them how to have vision, teach them how to want things, and starting there. And once that's really clear, I'm writing all that down. If it's in person, I'll actually have a whiteboard and like write the things down. And if it's not, then I have my little like Google Doc on the side of the screen. But I figure out like, what do they really want? And then I act like it's a surprise. Like I'm like, oh, if you don't mind, do you want to go into that a little bit? Like I'm noticing some emotion there, and I just pick one point that's not like their core thing that's going to take, weeks to move through, but just something that could get them a quick win and really drop them into an emotional state, because people buy typically from an emotional state. And so I will just do maybe a 30-minute session, and I have that planned in the duration of the call. And I take them through a very specific process, which is the same process I use in my coaching, and I get them a win. And then they're like, man, I'm good. I can move on. And then I bring in but remember, this is everything that you wanted. So now that you see how that works and you're feeling really emotional and high about it, here's the price. Do you want to buy? And typically all their doubts come back up at that point, because money, self-worth, like now we're going into it. And that's where I think the biggest thing I've had to learn to be strong in sales is to, when that doubt comes up for them, to not mirror it in myself, because that's the moment where I always am like, yeah, you're right. Like that is a big investment, and you probably don't have the time, and it probably actually isn't really what you want, even though we just spent 20 minutes before this talking about how much you want it. And again, with the credibility building, the authority building, this is a really powerful time to say, hey, I just want to pause here. We can take the offer off the table if this really isn't a good fit. There's no pressure, but I don't want to let you leave here in a disempowered state. So are you open to me reflecting what I'm seeing? And at that point, being able to share and say, hey, this is your pattern. Like right now you're in the middle of it, and this is the moment that you get to change it. And then you're reinforcing their self-worth and allowing them to put the first drop of the bucket, or in the bucket of their self-worth, by making the investment. So it's a lot of a similar process. It's easier said than done when you're in there and it's all vortexy and everybody's like, do we have value? Do we both suck? Like, I don't know. But that's really where the power comes in, when you're able to hold that value in yourself and to hold it for them as well, and to help them. I always say that's the first job of a coach, is to help people overcome their limitations by making the investment, because you can help them. And that's not a reflection on you if they're scared to buy.
Right. Beautiful. I think regardless of the system, and I think these two are very valuable, is you said it's not easily accomplished. Practicing this and role playing this and having people to work with on it. And that's one of the things
at
at
least
Coach
30
Grid.
times.
Yeah. One of the things we do at Coach Grid is custom build your sales process and then work through it with you so that you feel confident when it is time to go into that. Yeah. So thank you for being with us. Some sales tactics for you to try, for you to integrate. And if you want one that is custom built for you, you can visit us at coachgrid.com or on Instagram at CoachGrid.